So even the fact that they're not bringing all the guys out, it's just like Lecrae, Andy, and something else. So they went through a bunch of ideas, but they really wanted the crowd to feel like more diverse than usual. So it's like I get to play all kinds of music and I'm making people feel comfortable at the event. So we're creating a different experience.
Kid, I just would hear like DJs mixing on the radio, so it was like top 40 stations, and then one day I remember hearing them, like it was on a weekend, my aunt was driving us around, I just heard like 2 songs together. So I liked it as a little kid, but I lived in a small city, so I didn't even know like what a DJ was or what he did. So I got into art. I was already into art, and I got into breakdancing, so I used to get into that stuff, and then graffiti art. And then when I graduated high school, I was able to travel a lot. So I would travel to clubs, and I met some DJ guys. And that was the first time I saw somebody like do it, because it was real complicated. It's turntables, records, needles, like it's like a lot.
You've been holding back?
Huh?
You've been holding back?
Well, I might do that one tonight. Like when the build is happening, I'm thinking about keep going.
Then I bought my own equipment, and around the time I was learning to DJ, I was also like transitioning to where I was like learning about God. Like I had been introduced to church and stuff, so I was attending a church with my family kind of, and then I had gotten real depressed, so I was like, a lot of things were happening. So I was learning to DJ, and I was like learning about this new thing. And then I started buying like Christian rap music, because at the church they were listening to it, and like as I started learning about God, it took a long time. I wasn't like all in for church. I just was visiting and kind of like around it, but I wasn't sold that it was real. I just thought it was fake. And so I was testing it, like, is it really better than this? Because I love going out to the clubs and run around my friends. So it just got to where I could see this was definitely a better life than the one I was living. And I went to some event they wanted me to DJ, and I just bought some new records. I bought them in Dallas, and I went to the party and I was playing them. It was like a graduation party, and all the kids were not dancing. They were just like staring. So I was way confused, and a kid comes up and he says, "Do you have any Christian hip hop?" And I was like, whoa, yeah. And he goes, "Do you have," he started naming stuff. And I was like, yeah. So I didn't even have CD players, I don't think. I just had like a CD player. So I just put it in and played it, and they all got on the dance floor. They were just like all dancing, having fun. And that was huge. That night, it was like a big decision. I was like, I started throwing away all my other music, and it was just a transition from like learning to DJ and then learning that like God had a plan for me at the same time. I mean, I definitely always am like asking the Lord to show me the next steps. Then I went with Lecrae. After Official got sick, they needed a DJ, and I was kind of torn between that because I didn't know if that's what I really felt like I was supposed to be doing. And plus, like, that's Official spot. Like, I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna jump in this spot. So I eventually said yeah, and yeah, it was just like a change in my heart. I was like, I need to support this because what they're doing is like I need to help. Like, whatever that looks like, I need to help. So we're gonna go help Andy with his VIP experience. I'm actually 5 minutes late, so I help him host so they don't tackle him, beat him up.
Having Promote on the tour is always it always adds an element of excitement. One, just musically because he's a beast and he's amazing at what he does. But two, because he's always working. So any down moment that we have on the tour bus or any off day, he's got headphones on and he's plugging away and he's making changes to his set. He's working on making his own music. So he's a workhorse, and so I'm inspired when I see it because, you know, he's deep into, you know, his career, but he still practices like he's, you know, like he's just getting started or something. So just very, very motivated dude. And then also he's just a cool hang, you know, like just a fun guy to be with.
They're hype already, Andy.
Because he's such a workhorse and like he's so quick, you know what I'm saying, at making changes and doing things. So like whenever me and him have to interact to do live show stuff, like I'll bounce an idea off of him, and some DJs will be like, man, no, we can't do that, like we need some rehearsal time. He's like, all right, how about this? You know, like pressing buttons and knobs, and he's like, how about this, this, and this, and this, and then it's like, yeah, that's dope. So he's a guy like you could improv an entire set with, because I'll be like, yo, I just go crazy, and when there's a certain part, you know, take over the crowd and go nuts with the dance music or whatever, scratching, whatever, he can do it all. So he's one of those guys that because he puts in so much work, he's so excellent, he's professional, you know what I'm saying, he's put in his 10,000 hours.
Man, I don't even know if I can remember Promoter and I really first met, but I know that it was through like my man Bobbito and my man Propaganda. So they both spoke very highly of him, and you know, I had never really just kind of like seen him at work. And I remember we were at a conference in Tennessee, and he had the whole crowd going crazy before, you know, I think before we went on stage. So it was just kind of like I hadn't seen a DJ like control the crowd like that in a long time, and so it was really like kind of mind blowing to see. And from there, man, I was all in. I was like, wow, you know. So Prop and Bobbito, man, they really put me on to it. I really didn't understand, you know, how impactful Promote was and how, you know, he was so highly sought after. There were just different conferences, different venues, and you know, just festivals and whatnot that were, you know, itching to have him come. And it really was like, wow, this guy has his own like world brewing. And you know, there's a whole like DJ movement that exists right now. And you know, with whether that's electronic music, hip hop, dance, whatever it may be, there's a whole world that exists. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, and have not just specifically like around faith-based people too. It's like kind of like, what does that mean? So really promoters come in and just like, he's able to do all of it. He can do the electronic music, he can do the dance, he can do the, you know, scratching, hip hop, the whole nine. So he's really just multifaceted, and I think he's man, he's one of the best to do it, just being 100.
So I felt like God was like, this may not be what you want to do right now, but this is where you need to be. So ever since that moment, like it's just been like, yeah, this is like, this tour is proof of like God showing me that, because this has been like crazy. Like just the stuff that's happening with Lecrae, like going on Fallon, doing all that stuff, and then just what's happening every night in this tour, like it is so like out the box. So it's awesome.
Chicago, thank you so much.